Here's the kitchen. Huh, no, oh wait. No no serviles here to cook? What gives? Maybe the apprentices have to cook. I don't know. Bag of meal, we're not taking that. I don't think there's ever any mission or quest in Geneforge for bags of meal that I can think of anyways. In like Avernum, there definitely is. You browse through the college's library. All the tomes and scrolls are worn and dog-eared from being read and reread. Because of the remote... Oh, so apparently Barzite doesn't allow the students to have, the apprentices to have phones because he wants them to actually hit the books. Because of... lame jokes aside. Because of the remoteness of the mountains, it is hard to get books. Still, the college has a wide variety of works, with titles like Artillery Resistance and Submission, and Effects of Low Energy Bombardment on Cryoa. Huh. Though, a Dracon, and a Shaper. Let's look at the, oh, or is that Siakasai? Okay, it's probably just Siakasai. A Dracon. Guard creatures. Oh wow, this Dracon is completely under control. Wow. Eesh. That's weird. I wonder, I think maybe we might be able to find some library books here. Some books that we're looking for. Most of the scrolls in this library look new. I thought they were dog-eared and worn. Which one is it? Or maybe it's just over in this one particular area. You examine a few of them and find something very strange. Each scroll begins with the name of some living thing like thod or squirrel or human, then a series of numbers, then a long list of symbols, each written in a very tiny hand. The lists go on for pages and pages. You can detect no order or meaning in the list of symbols. You do notice, however, that there are only 4 different symbols. One scroll labeled thod 431532421. You find something in one scroll labeled thod blah 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 blah. You find something interesting. One series of symbols has been circled and a new series has been penned in by it. A note says, if shaped this way, the skin turns blue. Odd. Huh. Those must be like parameters or specifications for the creations. Research notes. Yeah, we don't need to take that. How about this? Research notes? No, let's talk to the Shaper. Hey lady. Mockley. You watch this agent for a minute trying to figure out what she's doing. Then you figure it out. Weirdly, she seems to be the librarian. She's sorting out all the strange scrolls in this section. While you wonder what an agent is doing working in a library, she turns to you. She looks frightened. Oh, you? Mockley? What do you want here? She looks scared and distracted. She constantly turns to look at the corners of the room, seemingly watching for something. I have a feeling she was shaped with canisters and it didn't quite work right. What sort of library is this? This is the college library. Lots of shelves, lots of corners. I keep track of everything of the books. The north room is regular books. The south room is the records of what we have seen when peering. It's hard. A hard job. Books, they disappear sometimes. And that does happen in libraries. What do you mean, peering? It's Shaper research. They can look within living things and read the instructions for making them, and they write what they see. Others can tell you more. It is hard to keep track of, though. There's so much to write, or so they say. The instructions to make a person are so long and complex. This whole college could not store what they learn, so they left it up to me. What more can you tell me? Who can tell me more? My goodness. Okay. Who can tell me more? Talk to Lark. She knows a lot. She's in the peering room. She I think can be trusted. She points to the west. So what is left up to you exactly? Sorting the scrolls, sorting the notes, reading the notes, seeing what information found seems useful, throwing out the rest to make room. They are learning a lot of valuable shaping things. There's too much information to keep. They need a computer. They need computers. They don't have them. That's interesting. Technology in one area is outstripping their abilities in other areas. Okay. So, okay. And your books disappear. What do you mean? Yes, careless students, errors, the things that take them. Someone misplaced a copy of Esoteric Craft, for example, and Fenen needed it and yelled at me. I need to find it, and I don't know where it is. Okay. Maybe we can find it for her? Let's see. So, what's wrong? You seem frightened. Yes, I see there are things. We can't always see or hear them, but they are around. I watched for them always. And when did you start seeing these things? When I was a fighter and scout, and they offered to make me an agent, I used the canisters, and they made my senses strong. Everyone I used, my senses were stronger, and I could hear and see the things more, but it made me an agent they didn't like. And Burham acted sad and put me here. You should use canisters. They'll help you see and hear the things so you can try to get away from them. Is it possible? No. I don't think I want to get away from them. So yeah, she didn't shape out right. That's unfortunate for her. So Burham, the master shaper, was sad that she didn't come out quite right. I mean, that's nice on his part, I suppose. In this room... Okay. This room contains 4 shaping platforms. Each has a peculiar device next to it. These devices look like control panels, bits of semi-organic machinery encased in protective cylinders of stone. Each has a protrusion pointing out of it, pointing at its platform. Each device also has what looks like an eyepiece. It's as if you are meant to look through the eyepiece and to see what is on the platform. Very strange. A table has been set next to each device, where scribes can record some sort of information. It's all quite strange. The shapers back home have nothing like this. Alright, if you've played Geneforge 1 or watched my playthrough, you know what this stuff is. Let's talk to Lark. This woman wears a simple dirty dress, or, pants and shirt. Tools, both living and not, hang from her belt. She looks very worried. She paces around rapidly, looking at machinery and shaking her head. No, the problem isn't here. It must be... But then she notices you. Ah, yes, the visitor. I'm Lark. What are you doing? Or what do you do here? I take care of the machinery, the power conduits, and so on. It's what I do while I wait for my shaper training, which I won't get if I mess anything up. You want to be a shaper? Of course. Everyone here does. But Burham and Fenen want to actually train the shapers while we're using the canisters, so they're actually better shapers who can research things. But they can only teach so many at once, so I wait. Oh, they want a good student-teacher ratio. That's interesting. I don't know, these Radiant College types seem actually pretty smart. And you're afraid they won't teach you? I'm sure of it, if I damage any of these precious peering machines. Alright. So what is the machinery? These are the peering machines. You should try one. Come back when you have. Alright, let's do that. You peer through the eyepiece. You don't see anything. It's completely black. Okay. Oh, what? There's a piece of, like a dead critter arm on the platform. You peer through the eyepiece. You see a bit of flesh on the pedestal. It looks ordinary at first. Then, as you watch, fascinated and horrified, the view moves closer to the meat, and closer and closer. The carrion fills the view. But then, amazingly, you look still closer. The device magnifies a bit of skin so that you can see every fissure, every hair follicle, every tiny detail. But then you get even closer, and you see that the skin is made up of countless tiny sacs, stuck to each other somehow. And then the view plunges into one of the sacs, and you can see that there is something inside. It is, you don't know what. It looks like a pair of scrolls, twined together in a spiral. The view travels along the spiral. It's incredibly long, and it seems to contain some sort of information, but you can't understand it. Finally, you stumble back, dazed. You have no idea what you've just seen. It is amazing and bizarre. It's as if you've just, aided by magic, seen something secret, some key element of life and how it works. It's incredible and also terrifying. This knowledge feels like it contains power, and in the wrong hands, horrible power. Dun dun dun. It's the secret of Sucia Island. Hey, lady, get back here. So, the machinery. Neat, huh? She smiles. The shapers tell me that those tiny, twisty things you saw are like scrolls. Really long scrolls that contain the instructions for living things. But they're complicated. They can't understand the language. But the shapers can sort of play with them and change them. It's like shaping. It makes shaping go much faster and easier, and they can make stronger and weirder things. So they are able to manipulate the genome more exactly, unlike the regular shapers who just sort of trial and error, irradiating things with their magic and essence, and seeing what happens and recording it and doing something different. You know, if it doesn't work right, they don't do that again. If it works well, they record that and then try it again, and if that still works right, then they try something else on top of that, and so forth and so on. Slow but steady empirical process. Slow, but somewhat reliable empirical process. This is more like, oh, here's actually getting more down into the nitty-gritty of things. But you see, they still don't entirely understand the genes, the genome. And if you recall, this game was made, I think, in 2002. And if I recall correctly, the Human Genome Project was completed in 2000, what? 5, 6, 7, sometime in like 2005 or 6, I think. I could be wrong. Was it Francis Hutchins? No, it probably wasn't. Maybe it was. Anyways, yeah. He and his project, they were the ones who mapped out the human genome, and it's funny how I said something about this in my Alpha Centauri playthrough a couple years ago, or more than that, maybe 3 years ago. Jeez Louise. That it's interesting to see all this science fiction that was dealing with genetics and what have you, that was made in the years right before the genome was mapped and all the Human Genome Project was completed. And nowadays, that is something that has been done like almost 10 years ago. No, almost 20 years ago. I mean, sorry. I don't know. Let's keep going. All right, well, so they can make they can't understand them, so they don't entirely understand the little scrolls, but they can, they can do their bombarding with energy and essence on a microscopic level and change things much more precisely than the regular traditional shapers can, who have to do it on a macro level. Alright, so, is something wrong? Yes, and it will ruin everything. She takes a minute to calm down. A moment. Sorry, it's just that the power to this area is uneven and it's messing up all the experiments. The problem isn't in any of the labs, and it must be somewhere around the power crystals in the back halls at the north end, but I can't get at them. It's too dangerous and they won't shut off the power for me. Man, are they stupid. Or maybe there's stuff pending that, I don't know. Just so you know, I can help you. I have lots of keys, but I really need to get it fixed. You don't need to know a lot about mechanics. You could do it just so you know. Okay. So she wants us to go into the back and fix something with the power crystals. Alright. Well, we might do that. I don't know. We might not. Bunch of paper. Some writing utensils and some candles. What's in here? This room contains 10 large incubation tanks. They're massive shells of steel, reinforced with pure steel rims. You could grow something large and nasty in these things. None of them are currently occupied, but they aren't new. Deposits of dry goo around the edges indicate that they've been used recently. And no doubt will be again. Big nasty stuff. Alright. Isolation room. Oh, I didn't read that. Storage bay A and storage bay B. Alright, cool. Another guard. What are you? battle gamma, and it's all shiny. Looks scary. And here is a pool. Oh, very good. Some pools. Are you a shaper? One of the... I bet that's Fenen. Let's talk to him. Fenen, there is only one shaper at work here right now. Odd, for such a large shaping hall. He has not been as heavily modified as all the other Barzites. When he looks at you, he seems to see you. I am Fenen, welcome visitor. I've been told to describe to you the wonders of Barzite research. I get the feeling that the greeter at the door was just full of herself. Or maybe no one told her that we were allowed in. What research are you working on now? Creations. Now that we have the secrets of Sucia Island, we have doubled and redoubled the rate at which we can make new creations. Our refinements on the Vlish, Battle Alpha, and Drake are remarkable. Okay, so the refinement on the Vlish, I think, is the Gazer. The refinement on the Battle Alpha we have not seen yet. It's not the Battle Gamma. That's just an advanced Battle Alpha. We have not seen it, and it is coming in. It's a doozy. And the refinement on the Drake, of course, is the Dracon. And we will continue. Soon we will develop ways to bind creations with even firmer control, so that we can make them with more will and intelligence. They never learn. How have you improved the Drakes? We have made Drakes into Dracons, of course, or Dracons, I don't know. Soon, with the use of the incubation bats, we will make many Dracons, and they will defend us from the Shaper Council. Alright? How about the Vlish? That was Barzal's work. He developed the Gazer and the Eye-Beast, which is just a beefed up Gazer, from the basic Vlish template. We haven't made many yet, but soon. And the Battle Alphas? We have developed a variety called the Rock Groth. Stronger, larger, and with corrupting touch. We have not had much luck with the design. Takers are ahead of us in this regard. More testing is required. Alas, I've had a shortage of testing volunteers. Can't imagine why. So, stronger, larger, with a corrupting touch. Yes, rock groths are terrible. I mean, they're scary. They're good creations, but gross. So the Takers are also doing research, advanced shaping research. I don't know. I'm not going to help you with the rock groth right now. We might help him later. Let's see. Working on... How have you improved control of the creations? Well, you have seen in these mountains how creations can develop delusions of independence. The Serviles especially. We're trying to make ways to totally crush the will of creations. Total obedience. Yeah, no. I don't agree. I think the Serviles in the mountains are on the right path. You are wrong, of course. That is a good thought, but wrong. You turn your back on the gifts many have worked so hard to give you. Okay. That's an interesting reply, right? You are wrong, of course. It's a good thought, but wrong. Interesting. I have another question. I'm trying to find a cure for a servile disease. Can you help? Ah, that disease. I've heard of it. I've done no work on it, though. None of us have. It doesn't kill them yet, and if it did, we could just make some more. The Takers are the only ones who might have a cure. They are very concerned about serviles, of course. Man, what a bunch of jerks. But they are right. Maybe the Takers, because they're doing advanced research too, and yes, they have a care about creations. At least at this point they do. Do you do anything here besides shaping? Well, we did try to bind an infernal creature in a golem, you see. It was an interesting idea. Completely illegal and very stupid. But it broke loose, killed some creations, stole some valuable equipment, fled to Awakened Lands, and we won't be trying that again. Can you teach me anything? We've asked. Yes, I have been instructed to teach you magic and shaping so you can sample the power of the Barzites. This is only a fraction of what we can offer you if you join us. I'm surprised he would do that. Man, Barzal really is trying hard. Let's see what they can teach us about shaping. Alright, Fenen doesn't want to teach you everything he knows. However, your leadership skills enable you to convince him to help you all he can. Since you are not a Barzite, prices are high. So he can teach us Fiora through Drake. Oh wow, he could teach us Drakes. Wow. Ugh, that's tempting, but should we learn how to make Drakes? That does seem... Also, we can teach us how to make Battle Alphas, Artillas, Bush, Glocks. We're not doing magic creations though. Huh. Maybe we should learn how to make Drakes. We could learn. Why don't we do that? We're going to eventually need to replace some of these. These cryoas are not going to serve us well for the rest of the game, I don't think. Although, I don't know. I'd feel bad to get rid of, what's-his-face, Frostfang. Maybe I'll wait. We'll wait. Spells? Oh, wow. I don't think there's anything here that he can teach us that we can't learn elsewhere at better prices. So, alright. Really the thing here, he could teach us how to make a Drake if we wanted. Which is actually pretty cool. Now, Drakes are illegal, but I don't know if we care enough to not do that. Here's more of the library. What book is that? Rune casting. We are looking for some books. Let's take a look. Oh wait, yes. Mockley's book, which she wants. Esoteric craft. Oh, we've seen tons of those. Maybe at the Radiant College. Swolford is looking for Ember and Onyx. And rune casting. Ooh, we could take... There's a copy of rune casting right here. And then Sharon. Let's just get rune casting. We're going to borrow this book, aka take it. Hopefully... You're cool? Are you cool? Yeah, he's still cool. Oh wow, 822 hit points. Wow, that's really expensive. I mean, powerful. Alright, now, what's in here? This is a shaping journal. Oh noes! Where some researcher has recorded the results of some promising experiments. His skill is much greater than yours, but his explanations are clear. However, you are able to learn something from some of the more advanced parts of the book. You now know how to make a Battle Alpha. Now did we already have 2 levels of Battle Alpha? Please help us. Oh. Yes, we did! Oh, excellent! We can now make Battle Betas if we want. Very good. And if we have to remake our Battle Alphas, they'll be a little bit stronger, 1 more level stronger. This is a book on languages. The study of other languages is not a common one. After all, in Shaper lands, only 1 tongue is spoken. However, there are some places not under Shaper control, and people speak differently there, such as the land of the, what are they called? The Shaolai? I can never remember how to say that word. Anyways, like we met in Geneforge 1. You flip through the book, interested in the strange words and scripts. However, you don't learn anything of use. Remembering Sharon's mysterious book, you flip through the pages looking for some clue to what the strange tongue would be. Surprisingly, you're in luck. The book describes something called the Old Sucia dialect. It's a language similar to the Shaper tongue that was spoken by tribesmen on Sucia Island long before the Shapers came. You take some notes. Sharon will be very interested. Cool. That's good. We can go back to Sharon's grove and turn in this quest. Oh, there's some cryo drakes who are, no pun intended, but definitely appreciated, very cool critters. Creations. Let's see, is there any other books here? Yeah, we've looked at those 2. Any other books here? Well, I think we are done for today at the Radiant College. And so, for now, we're going to go. Having done a fair bit of looking around. Oh wait, how about right here? This is just the cafeteria, right? The dining hall? Oh, okay, never mind. Just to be sure. There's not any books in these rooms. I'm looking for Ember and Onyx. Just to be sure. Nope. No, no. Go back in there. There was a cloak that we could take if we wanted to. What was it? Nothing. Okay. There's a book in here. I didn't even see it. Oh, it's just research notes. Darn it. I got excited for a second. Oh my gosh. Everybody get out of there. Get out. Okay, no books here, no books here, no books here, nope. Alright, cool. And no books here. Looks like some dice. Oh, there's a book right there. Let's just take a look. Paths of Fire. That's not what we're looking for. I think that was the book, a copy of that was what Dana, the Servile, was reading. But we need Ember and Onyx. Okay. Well, alright, cool. Very good. Very good. I think we can go. Let's go back and talk to Sharon. And tell her that we got some info for her on her old language book. Now it talked about Old Sucia dialect and how it was a dialect that seemed very similar to the Shaper tongue that was spoken, they think, on Sucia Island long before the Shapers arrived. Let's see. I have a theory as to why the old Sucia dialect resembles the Shaper language. Welcome, Shaper. Alrighty. Welcome, young traveler. I'm Sharon. Yes, yes, yes. I have learned something about your book. So, Lucian describes what he found. That is very interesting. Not very useful to me, of course, since I don't know a word of the old Sucia dialect, but maybe I can find a way to learn it. Thank you for your help. Since you've given me knowledge, I feel I should give you some in return. I will teach you something of interest. She gives you a lesson in efficient spellcasting techniques. It takes a few hours of extreme concentration, but you learn a few things, and your spellcraft skill improves. Alrighty. That's great. Okay, you got 250 experience. That's super cool. Yeah, we got spellcraft up by 1. That is super tight. Mortimer got a level, Xander got a level, and Romulus got a level. Well, thanks a lot, lady. I mean, Sharon, ma'am. She's like, lady? Ma'am. That's cool. Alrighty. So now, we can go back to Medab and call this episode. This may or may not have been split into 2 episodes already. But I wanted to sort of explore the whole of the, well, not the whole of, but, get a good initial exploration of the Radiant College. Alright, cool. Let's go. Back to Medab. Or we could go to... Yeah, we'll go back to Medab. We're done for today. I'm like, oh, we could do this and this and this. Oh, boys. But yeah, if you watched my Geneforge 1 playthrough, or if you played through that yourself, I think that the people on Sucia Island are the ancestors of the people who became the Shapers initially. Kind of like how there was the, in Star Wars, like the old school Star Wars, not like the stuff nowadays, but like the older stuff, there's like the Sith, where there's the Order of the Sith, but there was like the race of the species called the Sith, who were magical people, or not magical, force sensitive people who were very big on the dark side, and the rogue the initial Dark Jedis who were defeated by the rest of the Jedis fled there, and they arrived there on that planet, and they, mixed with the Sith there, and eventually wound up taking up. They sort of cross-pollinated, if you like, and eventually that species may have died off, but their planet, Korriban or Morban, whichever it is, I don't know, and a lot of their ideas and stuff, plus the goals and the fury of the Dark Jedi combined to make the Order of the Sith that we know. Well, in a similar way, I think the people of Sucia Island, the old Sucian peoples, were a people who practiced a primitive form of shaping magic, and they had gone about doing things and fighting and attacking, oppressing their neighbors, or attacking their neighbors and warring with their neighbors at the very least. And eventually, their island was invaded by the people they were at war with, who were sick of them. And in a last desperate effort, they unleashed pretty potent, powerful magics that warped the attackers. And they themselves either were killed by the attackers or fled. And they fled and left Sucia Island and took some of their secrets with them, and were gone from there for so long that they eventually sort of forgot about Sucia Island. And wound up, conquering for themselves a small area of land, or maybe they already had conquered some other parts of land, and from there they spread across Terrestria, becoming distanced from their own history and their own homeland and what have you. And some people might suggest that the Serviles, far from being actual literal creations of the Shapers, are actually the descendants of, or their DNA, their, what do you call it, their template is taken from the shaped, or the mutated soldiers and mages that had attacked Sucia Island to try to defeat this evil magic race of wizards. But I don't know, that's definitely a theory that I think that I myself sort of appeal. It's my headcanon, and I think a number of other people sort of think that's correct as well. And what we just found here with the old Sucia dialect, I think kind of supports it. But who knows? I don't know. You can let me know what you think. It never comes up in the story ever again. So if you're like, what, spoilers? That would be a spoiler and a half. But it never comes up. There's a lot of really cool ideas that just sort of go nowhere after a while in this series. I mean, it has to go somewhere, and you can't go everywhere. For a story to go any direction, it has to not go in a lot of other directions. And so, it's not that I'm saying it's wrong not to look into that. I can't help but wonder what is the rest of the mystery of Sucia Island. It's so cool. All right, cool. Well, anyways, all that aside, that's another thing. The Shaolai lands never get really dealt with ever again. We see occasional individual Shaolai, but nothing of any significance. But you know what? It doesn't actually make me irritated so much as just, I think there's an opportunity there. I think Xander and Lucian are back to being chill homies. Xander was pleased with the way that Lucian told that Fenen, the Shaper, that the Serviles were not wrong to be, free-thinking, independent critters, or people, not critters at all. Romulus is going to go over here and just, visit the bush. He has some business to take care of. He smells the presence of other creations. And these battle alphas are going to have a little conclave. They have to discuss some things after action review and all that. And of course the Cryoids are looking at the water. So, on that note, I want to say thank you for joining me for this episode of my Let's Play of Geneforge 2. Here on my channel, Idle Wisdom. That was pretty cool. A lot of big not events, but kind of like some big stuff in that episode. We saw the secret of Sucia Island again. It's pretty cool. Apparently, that is the data, the secrets that Barzal and Zachary, secreted out and did not destroy. It's interesting that the Barzites are not trying to make a Geneforge. They're like, nah, that was too much of a ham-handed approach. We're going to do this much more carefully. The Radiant College did impress me with how precise they're trying to be. It's not nearly as, reckless as the Barzites initially appear. Maybe they're getting more careful as they get more established, but who knows? We'll see if they become more desperate as the threat of the Shaper Council looms larger and larger. I don't know. But anyway, so thank you for joining me for this episode of my Let's Play of Geneforge 2 here on my channel, Idle Wisdom. If you enjoyed these episodes, please leave me a comment and give the episodes a like. And if you have not, consider subscribing to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. So take care, y'all.